Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank my colleagues here on the Ways and Means Committee for holding this hearing. And as a CPA and a businessman for 30 years, somebody who's created over 1,500 jobs and employed over 3,000 people, and a member of this committee, I can tell you the day I got here 7+ years ago, reforming the old tax code was a priority of mine. I know lower taxes grow our economy, create jobs, and increase paychecks. I lived it. I lived it every day. Companies do not ultimately hoard the benefit of lower taxes. I look back over the days when I was running my company. If I would have had lower, I was always trying to increase employment and grow employees, but I always had to worry about that partner that I didn't really have called Uncle Sam that I had to write a check to every quarter. So I do understand what it means to cut taxes and grow our economy. You know, it's interesting. One of my businesses was a sports team, and I always chuckled. I owned the sports team, and I remember the people in the stands used to always tell me what I was doing right or wrong. The problem is they weren't playing the game. And when you're playing the game, you understand it a lot better than when you're standing in the stands trying to decide or make talking points. So that's also interesting, too. But look, 6 months after the enactment of the tax reform, a number of Ohio businesses have already announced bonuses, increased pay, improved benefits, and more to charity. I could go on probably for 3 minutes, but I'm just going to name a few so people know. There are big businesses and small businesses. Ariel Corporation in Mount Vernon increased wages. Bronze General Contracting in Tip City enhanced employee benefits. Cintas, headquarters in Cincinnati, gave bonuses out to 38,000 employees. eCycle and Hilliard gave all employees bonuses. First Communications in Akron gave $1,000 bonuses and invested $3 million in capital. First Federal Community Bank in Dover gave employee bonuses. First Financial Bancorp in Cincinnati raised base wages, increased charitable contributions. GKM Auto Parts in Zanesville reinstated health care benefits. Juergens in Cleveland raised wages. Lima Pallet Company, another small business, increased wages and hired additional employees. Middlefield Bank Corporation in Middlefield gave $1,000 bonus to each employee. Nationwide Insurance in Columbus gave $1,000 bonuses to 29,000 employees and increased retirement benefits for 33,000. Steris Corporation and Mentor gave 1,000 bonuses to all non-executive employees. Smuckers in Orville gave out $1,000 bonus to all employees. These are just a small example of what happened in my state of Ohio. Let's go back, though. Because I do believe we need growth. In the late 90s, we balanced the budget down here, but it wasn't because of what people in Congress did. We were lucky. You know what happened? We grew the economy. And if you go back over those years, you're going to find that the growth was in excess of 6% in some of those years, not because of what Congress was doing. In fact, in budgeting, they budgeted for $2 trillion and spent $4 trillion. So they weren't even on board. It was the growth. And in the end, this tax cut is the one step toward us getting growth. And I know that some will say that, well, we're not going to get enough growth. But I got to tell you, over the last 8 years prior to this president, we weren't getting enough growth at 1%. CBO director testified our budget problems are demographic problems. And we need to be able to grow our economy. The CBO also said that our revenues will go up almost 60% over the next 10 years, but our expenses are going up over 80% over the next 10 years. If we want to balance a budget, we got to change some things. And I think this tax plan will do it. I know I only have 33 seconds because they cut me off a minute, but Mr. Holtz-Eakin, can you tell me any other thoughts you would have on growth and the budget and what we can do with this tax plan?
I think this is an important first step, but quite frankly, it's not going to be possible to hold on to this beneficial tax reform if you don't get the spending side under control. Tax reform is hard. Keeping tax reform is harder. And the growth consequences of not fixing the debt outlook are entirely negative and will overwhelm what you've done so far.
I appreciate it. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.